won be mu akom mam na miensan so emra no modi som nam kwambone so eto gold ye hwa namo a gold board etui ebeboa ama fuma gudie gold ayetu no Ghana this year ye nya homfaso ana afei ye hu se IGP who from baye IGP Christian tete ye hunu baye wate special anti-galamsey operation team Ghana Police Service na mugusu tu anamompa so far ye hu se womu achi adehye be 208 afei excavators omo season kwa eye 99 ye hwe anamo a police adwuma no etu afa galamsey kono eho beboa ama galamsey etu atwa wo mamu ana sen na etie nkomo ina busuafo ye dem eba bedi enti ye ko NDC abanye ti ebanwa kese no so asweye national communication team no ye to nsafre abrantie Roger FD Wells TD Wells pacho Roger TD Wells and ye call the largest opposition party NPP former CEO Edema Gifek Ora Prince Sefa onso etonsa afeno mpen former majoma makwa baba UTV so Mr. Sefa
winia
hey still I won fenu guso ho
medase nyamishra
still am my for CEO no ana former once a soldier always a soldier all right Roger TD nso mo akwa
mejo so menia
and bibia boko de
Nyankopon adu mo hwede we a o mani si kwa ne dia na we hu se asumja bagana kro yi mu na nkofo so ebo ato moyem na nkofo so enije bebre aba there have been that kind of a revival and rekindlement ewo the we ananka nipa ewo Ghana kro mu mo si feel no say hope na ayra basisia no the hope that was once lost no it has been reignited.
Okay, yo, yan share anamoa the Ghana Gold Board and the National Security A2 kwan faso ye pese yan to yankasa to gold na yankasa de kwabrochire ekoton ene so far wo mu adehye omo achi omo yan hwa anamoa mutunu so far se ebeboa oman no.
Okay, before I mention no medical ada His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ase for fantastic step or take here with respect to issue concerning Samije Fi a video na a call viral no wamaye who say mpenifo ka kasa bi say obatan say oba ejani na gu osreswa ye pepa na yentwa esan anamoa Sami Jemfi etu ye say assembly see na otumi ba out ebe acknowledge ye na or apologize to the entire Ghanaian populace na oka say osanso share bo say on man sa assembly enyede ensa NCBM ye papa so consider odwa Sami Jemfi wo ema ejuma no ena odwa Ghanafo ewoma Sami Jemfi ena o say sadia obema no eho akwenya ema na atua ne juma pa odi wo good boss so intino sa adia waye mejina Ghanafo na nemu any party na nemu na mada His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ase na masan echia Sami Jemfi na makacha ne say dia jumade bia odi edeboa oman Ghana no onkoswa na yen Ghanafo na ye tanechi ye dono ye bekoso adono a support no in every capacity that we can na masechia party for penifo na mechia ato forcing mechia party penifo the presidential staffers obi biara odi jumama Ghana aye successful na afa ntuma pa ifra now back to Gold Board jumedia omudi no won say ye hwe gold a ye mine ewo Ghana mu a eya na mpem bebre no ohwehwe no na Lebanese ni Chinese ni Indians na eto eko na because yemfa measures and I say yemfa strategies into in place no yentumi and control the revenue ebe fimu aiden aba bebre na esmogel won say binum to be the far borders eko without yen hu ade a ekoso nti no saa nyama we nyina ema oman no ehwere sika even though egudie no yetufi asasene mu de nanso yenya so mfa so bia ena sika omusa so enya wo mu so eno so entena Ghana ekro no mu nti wo hwe strategic step
omusa de scan come mu
omusa so de come mu nti at the end of the day no omo say economy no ena yeso a yasa so benefit
yasa say
and o say omoye mining na have environmental impact both on the on the land, on the humans or the people who are living there. Once I call mining areas now, it will be allow people to go and stay. It will be a farming cry and survive it until it have impact on agriculture. What I say,
the environment,
anyway, the ecosystem ni na no. In one way or the other no bibi touchima it you lose that aspect e ba no sika sem so a say economy no because you need maybe asika nefa but omo this sika no esan ra economy no illegally because you nim jumadi a obo bebedi no ana omo ntumi state ana define clearly jumadi omo bebedi no sa sika pudro ni na no you nim how omo tumi di here area system no mu your borders no your immigration ni eyi but won say nimpa de anytime there tight situation no so doing fast way or no so be the BT system no into one way or the other I want to find your way into our environment enti na yen penny for his excellency John Dramani Mahama Sami Jefi and atu force no atena ho and o ma adwen wen who said no ye hwe gold ya ye mine o mining nkitin ya individuals na export no say ye the mechanism be to in place ade we be boa e ma ye si illegal export of gold one thing and na yetumi generate revenue from it na ya saso afa so protect the environment and regulate the operation of the mining industry into science ni na eba into play no and his excellency John Dramani Mahama edi to me no share minister of finance ni Sami Jemfisa e mo draw strategy and there ama gold board no aba into play into the gold board no ejina ho in as an institution they are in no PMMC no omo na omo are responsible for buying and selling gold well even though it is linked to the central bank no omo and a daily SPA head but this time around no gold board no omo are in such a way say before ubetumi ato gold if Ghana ha and now the gold beko amanone no it has to come through the gold board enti individual bia entumi nya den embe fa gold e Ghana efa nko amanone and omo are in a way say obi entumi free amanone like broni embe daily in the domestic market it no say ebia gold nkitin na ewo krom no ebia wo Ghana ni na ka obetumi akoton ama gold board this year no broni ni bitumi betoto saa enyama no emfa nko koton ma gold board it broni ni pe gold a tiso koton fi gold board hormone it saa isiseye na aban ne dia to hormone no aboa ewo yesika semu aboa ema quantity kra every country no mu yet me keep track record of it is nyama we ni na nyama ebe boosti economy no ohwe recently within the space of 4 months exported $2.7 billion of gold and who said this have been a drastic improvement
NDC
buy and a sari and a secret behind a dollar ni we into na ye co first no because we share rational na this we no ebe maska bebre abema it is more than the amount we are using to import adia e ma dollar no ehu eya ahomtew ewa economy ni mu ne se we hwe Ghana ye dwumandi bebra ye di nina efa ye dwane a ebedi ye ntade a ye behye ifidi a ye de be ye dwuma nina no ye hia sikapuruo in dollar na ye de akọ amanone na ye de akọ kra ema omode saa eyi na iden e de abag Ghana na say ye kraba nini na no na ye hia more dollars to offset sa enyama na ye de ba no into all the time na asodie bi e da aban ne so and say asodie bi da ye so as Ghanaians I say ye hia dollar e de kodi dwa so that ye keep economy no in shape and I say economy no running what you say into sa gold board is say ye de ato ho no mu sisi ano within 4 months po na ye aton exported 2.7 billion. Imagine that foreign revenue coming in. It's no enough It's no sir demand and supply we na a cost dollar no to go up no. Sisi a enya sa on no.
Because we nyɛ Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia gold for oil na ma branded.
The enya we nya hyehyɛ a gold for oil. Gold for oil no idea and rationale na e gold for oil no ne say omo di gold no e de kwa kwosesa fango fango na e ka na otwim white oil. Omo di gold no e kwosesa oil so that omu hia dollar no e de akoto oil no sa na no omo ye what you say omo ye all right but unim say enya significant and as a drastic impact on the dollar e be do time be crash so na fango no e kosoro even though na e good for oil wo omo tu sa na mo ne de but sa na mo no enya significant influence then no so ama ye gold we no ankosoro ana say ama ye anka say ye gold prices no e kosoro ana revenue no e ye it no the omo ye ne say aban no any pressure say me hwehwe dollar e de akoto oil aban ne tam gold na no de akoji oil or tam gold na no de akoji oil but yan ye de na e gold board no ye say eni say ye de one precious mineral ekoji oil what you say say ye ton precious mineral na e be ma ye more than enough ye betumi di bi aiden e boost the economy no financially na ye wie so a ye di bi every e de be support frango sem e wo country no won say ye ba be mu no consistently fuel prices no e ba from
I think say Friday
so e be saso aba from it no hwe na steady system na hwe policies His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and atu forcing ni Sami Jefi finance minister obu poetuma na utumi who say economy no right now has is on the right track and it is our prayer say there will be a level of consistency so that the life of the average Ghanaian will be touched into no G4 no mo yeye but G4 only gold board no two different things right now no yen use dollar gold no as a backup for our currency because gold no ekwa my foreign exchanger my currency no stronger. That is the magic and that is why the cedi has been stabilized continually
because experts experts for dollar it seems that most countries
asaba 12 musika bebre enye no kre prove country obi omeka sure say dollar no performing less against all major currencies. It is not true. It is not true. Me say niska ko Korea about 2 weeks ago. Me say niska and then 3 days. The difference now on Korean currency is not performing. I lost. Me say before no 14 point something. Close to almost 15 million. Me say recently no. Now me lose almost about 1 million in Korea won. If Korean currency no, I'm for Korean won. If it was performing well against the dollar, the amount I'm sending here in dollars no. Now I also appreciate it. What you say? Nigeria, how is their currency performing? Look at the rate of growth. National rate of growth. Ghana has it.
The way they are buying
Jumadin and it's a say yeah they are too hormone. It is obvious say amount of money dollar ever in no offset the amount we need to yeja import.
All right.
Yeja import. Abani buy no. We are still consuming. Ghana's economy is driven by imports. Ye sugar, ye ntade, bibia ye bidi. Even food no fango no cry. Even though ye two oil wa no. Fango ni ye import.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. TD Walls, Roger TD Walls from the NDC. And I was telling Gamenko Prince Safa, honum na Misano. Prince, yeah, gold board and national security. And I'm on to say about your gold. You bet me about my near cracker. I could to any scarcity more mine.
Where they miss me chair a tifo in a chobia a Ghana for. Minuya TD, I can never be brave, and that's fine. I'm very happy. Set 3 months, 4 months of power mobile. Just say, Obeka say, Omono Mobu or Maya for the past years. But no credit. Some buying Chabia. How many interventions, any changes, how much revenue would they have collected over the base? Some is to make a mass.
Okay.
enti ni America ne say enema bebre a happen nyina eye transition nema ye di jawo mo. So what you say? And you can see it. Of course, you know, we all saw GDP by the time buying free so now 5.7 meboa, and that has even gone down. Revenues were on track to be a maomo timia backcrass one way be a free mu. So far no omo comfortable so omo to treat your bills near although doom so near they no still ba more than before within this short period of time. Say ni kan no senior minua kan no sami jamfi asem no bibia yate ho asem na nwumre ti me sha se afi ho kakra. And obo President Abaso say senior watimi yes ye fumu kum but ye fumu ndwa ana meboa etino President show say same ne bani ade. It's all very nice, but ye nyina enim nanu ya NDC no mo opposition omo de omo fumu kum omo fumu ndwa omo fumu kum meboa obi ye mistake a senior na nkrofo isifa eye den eje ho to say Madam Cecilia Dapade yi where she had an issue with obi awia no untie ni ye o mami abobra time mami sha se so wo ye adwuma all the way for international organizations ni ade say samekra na yenwo no aye adwuma for over 40 years I mean so 70 something Nikunu AM's about 80 years old. International architect. Meboa. Our Bobra. Oshe yes Silver Star. And some of these major buildings near the Papa no Eden. Udi hon juma. Na obi area no. Area no seni yisifa ye dede ewo ho se sikana ewo ne fie no. So when I mention was so background or baby cry says sika no way den when you're free any other Office of Special Prosecutor short time then echo ye so more kwahwe baby and sika cry was see season sika nyina nsame na di animu den Emma Samiko 2 section 13 of the act about money laundering ne ade se hu ye hia na okiteska bia na ene wo dwuma wo ye any income wo no emo ebra e wo se yetimi eden ye kohwehwemu because it's possible money laundering and so on.
All right.
So entino ono no de ene de ye nyina ye hu yo but mami ka say meba that send your obo na baso
and gold board
mate and I'll come to that in just a moment. Gold board, I have an issue with that, but just before I land on this issue no omo esomu den ebo meba binu afokasa no my katien
so
what you say entino very rich say na de ono no yehu se sika bebregu ni ka mu a wo yi bi to me $2,000 na maami a wo share no for the first time to me yi se sika man no ne ade how much na wo ka mu na how much na wo fie and so on ono de na de yen Canada wo hwe sa gold board here it's fine. Say almost so much nkrofobia.
Yeah, India for. But do you know the story that is breaking right now? And say India for you see actually and Raya said the independence in the new one almost so much. Nishalom the country H3.
Then almost so much another say I 3. Send pay first one now almost almost second set now almost which doesn't make any sense.
The first one, April 16th.
29th.
16th April. From there
was 16th.
Yes.
I remember 29th, but yes. Okay.
16th April, Ashanti region. And then, and Radian, Nancy, the 9th May. And when you know,
any party.
And see me, sir.
And I see me, sir. No, Mukabum, na 6.
Yeah.
So, and they see they deport you almost.
First 3. I'm just certain na I'm grace period. Say, once I'm warning.
Yeah.
Say unto such dates, you know.
Yeah.
Coco, no diama.
So anyway, me say omu deport your man. Omu deport your man. I don't agree with that.
Sefa. Onim me pese Gold Board PR no de okaye.
Sure.
Utie.
No problem.
Tell anti the production team. Momo my mother.
Gold Board any national security ye kan ye ho bo ma ye rewrem na India formrantie me ensa bi a omofa kwatiri kwan so e de ye sika kokko adwane afri mam ha no ye chi omo na ekowie achire no dwuma no mudi ye no esi bra na ye kokkobo no ebre no enya nson ye enti enam santi ye be famra kwan so na ye ja omo amoma sa ko omo memu na wabra we nyina ekoso no ebra ye ma kokobo anase ye to hone no se na India formrantie miensa bio enso tete akire wa omo so ayo madwen se omo so saa esuma se dwadie no so omo so bedi bi nti fofi anto ata ene ye doa omo a ene emra no ene omo die omo ne mrantie ya omo ha mo afidie edo omo so omo da mo nyina mo afidie so amohwe ewo mu fie na ye gina emrantie yi chie yi ho asem ede kokobo abo bia titiriu amanonefo no se eba sika kokko dwadie ne dia eye Ghana fonko a ena fenso eye Gold Board nko a na saa edwadie no efa ye so embra foforo na aba no se oye amanfrani anase ohoho na wo de ho beje gold dwadie ne mu wo man Ghana ha emra no ni ubedi nti mrantie miense yo mufri India ya che omo fofrei emra yi ene omo ba bedi bo mo ayedi ka che omo no de enam se bra ye che omo no na ye ho ne ni nyanso ye nti ye beja omo amoma komwo na wo de ho beje gold dwadie ne mu wo man Ghana ha emra no ni ubedi nti mrantie miense yo mufri India ya che omo fofrei emra yi ene omo ba bedi bo mo ayedi ka che omo no de enam se bra ye che omo no na ye ho ne ni nyanso ye nti ye beja omo amoma komo memu eno ne nkire se se amanfrani eto mra na ye beja omo sabe omo de ye ja omo fi se bra ye che omo no na ho ne no ebre no enyanso ye ba ye no de ya che omo ama omo ekwa aseni bia ama temuafo akodi omo asem ama de be free achi bia no omo fam se de beye enhwesode
Ndika sama for the ma Ghana Gold Board ena yetene kasefa afede wati ase
almost in the future no omo nko krom be try omo ha sa na oka ana meboa and that's very important because ye ntimi ncho na ye do akokrom was so omo di omo asemo and if that's what they're doing and I'm okay with that but this whole issue says Gold Board yeah nre ya ye shasi na ma dollar no akofom and your friend is saying ama petrol akofom and so on near de no motomobo yeah we had a stable currency for 4 years so and then all of a sudden international forces other things be exercise global issues within a short time no na near my den adane. An example was the Russian attack in Ukraine, which caused oil prices to skyrocket at the time. And within a short time, Nona Sikai here, the kofa oil, if you had almost doubled. So you're laughing because propaganda now work and the propaganda was that this thing who bought Russian Ukraine to send waka bibia happen by disrupting oil because there was an embargo that was put on Russian oil for a period of time. It's still even in place. And so adjustments had to happen because Germany, for example, when this thing happened, right? Germany almost oil in free Russia.
Yeah.
So imagine all of a sudden they cannot open the pipelines. The disruption that happened. But all I'm trying to say is the bottom line is right now, so many things are happening globally. Okay, including tariff wars, serious tariff wars I buy. Enti no se mo say gold board. And yet 31 tons of gold reserves that have been accumulated by MPP government. Aye de jamo. And yet no. And na have impact. It's about 31,000 tons of gold. Gold for oil policy through Bank of Ghana. Accumulated. Yes. So I mentioned all those things no have impact. But gold board nanu shasi any adi. Ena ama dollar no. Say cover 13 point something and 14, whichever place you go and get 12. It. That's fine. But yo, maminka senwe.
It's about 12.
Yo, me as far as I know, no, number 13, oh baby. Okay, I've dealt with that recently. But whatever the amount, say a kofom. And if a gold,
but how you happy say dollar no kofom?
Oh, Ghana ni bang ena dollar e kofom one. I mean, there are few people be affected or more in a negative way here and there. Send a business depending on whether you are buying or you're selling and so on. But overall, no, when the dollar goes down, and one in a and I'm a boy, persist in stable near day. Until as now, no, that has happened. And ye be to say oil say, which is very dependent on foreign exchange. Now above for more. It's good, but I'm just curious. This whole you say gold board and roya chassis and the timiama oil number from there. Then we can expect to say a beko from sa ama if that happens, that would be great.
But the Osha
I don't know your economists for a year or more ye beshe. So far, no, I haven't heard say bekwa but say to me call from one and the singing I beboy.
Dollar no from a beboa.
Oh, according to me a TDA kind say
according to
so maybe or no say a gold body and I haven't said that. And I haven't said say no na man me as far as I know no tariff wars near they no have a major impact. But Maminka say okay. So tiasie na ama dollar no we all saw that the dollar had been going down against other currencies. So tiasie because of tariff issues nearby and even stock markets in the US really tumbled. There were major upheavals that happened. Emma almost suspended the whole tariff that was going on. So say they are beginning to come to some negotiated agreements, bilateral and so on. We're looking at all those things. But meanwhile say a gold board ena ama dollar na yeden akofom. It is a gold board ye sha se be nene na nsen ye na say timi ama dollar yakofom say dia then chebia na me sure say dollar no ebe copper ebe kofom more until we will look at it.
But within a short time about from power.
Of course. Until ye behwe how it goes. When ye bibia mimeti hay mintimi enye menye economist me study say we are meeting me project the dollar for you as to how the dollar will go over the next few months. I can't do that. All right. Okay. I've heard different things from different economists. Some tell us besa kosro ebimo say bia beko form ni ade ye betwen ni ahwese na beko.
Okay. Was
yeah. Now with dollar ni issue no. When it comes to the monetary market now, dollar no ebetimi afole anase ebetimi akosoro anase CD ebetimi afole CD ebetimi akosoro. I get me notwithstanding the fact or can be say omodi gold 31,000 tons ato na eno na aboa eda ho say uwo
so omodi jam
or say omodi jam so omo that amount of gold in that time eno mo ntumi anya hwe to stabilize the economy. That means they are not they lack the competence and skill to run the economy.
What?
Say sana okay. Say more 31,000 tons of gold and you kept and you couldn't do anything with it. And then you allowed the economy to go into shambles. that means that your team
economy being a
lacked-
shamble.
Oh, but
What does it mean,
no.
economy
Are you telling me? Are you
What are you
telling
talking
me?
about?
Are you telling me that the economy as of 2024 was favorable for the Ghanaian businessman? I know now.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Patrick said Ghana's economy as of 2024 was favorable for the Ghanaian
Masa,
business person.
do
No.
you want to discuss the
Wait,
economy?
I'm coming. I'm making
Sure.
my case here. I'm making my case here. You are saying that you left 31,000 tons of gold, and I'm saying if you had 31,000, I had to say, oh, what gift me now when you. So what I am trying to drive here is that means that the men who were given the platform, they lacked the competence and the ability to execute
And
the tax.
to me, gather that amount of gold
Wait,
reserves.
oh, listen. Gathering knowledge and the application of knowledge are two different things. So probably, if your ability is to gather, our ability is to apply and get results. What you say? Yes.
Mo buy mo apply
His
na mo
Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a solution solver. Are you getting me? He's a problem solver. He brought solution. Wait, how can you? We manage this economy better than any other government. I'm telling you.
Which economy in the deal with the
NDC is far better
when?
than the MPP.
Since
when?
when?
We will beat them in any dealings.
Massa.
When it comes to the energy sector, before we left power in 2013-2016, we had added onto the capacity, the consumption, the capacity. Emma Mokaka said, excess capacity. When you took over power, you were here in this country and that excess was eaten up. You didn't add one pin to it. If you added any capacity, mention it here. It is on record. Mention it. Mention what you did to boost the energy sector. All you left was debt, $2 billion debt. Are you getting me? Of which His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has vowed to pay.
And how much
so
debt,
that
how much
the
debt did you
IPPs,
leave? How much debt did you leave?
It's not about debt being left. It's about
see,
the impact
you just
being
said
done.
it. You
Because
just
you've
said
left,
that there was debt.
Listen. The debt, the overall
how
debt,
much debt did you
the
leave?
overall debt you have left in this country was more than
They are done overall
100%.
debt. You just said energy sector debt, 2 billion.
What I'm trying to tell you is that when you are giving the nod, it's not about the financial activities, but it's about the impact and the life of the people that you have touched. What do you say?
dollar I'm fine 16 point something.
Yes,
it was not
16 point something.
You didn't. It was not 16. But they didn't take the dollar at 16. They took it at 15. Let's be accurate. It was 15. Don't tell us it was 15. Let's be accurate. I will get the amount for you exactly.
Most of the time 2016 be fine. I think 4 point something.
Chief Matthias here.
But
I don't want to
I'm
do
3.8. I'm 3.8. Omudi to say aviator. What was
Masa Okasa mo bi nka bi
Okay,
Masa. So you energy sector now okano. You mentioned say what catch Ghana for nyina say data MPP DJI was 2 billion. Momo data DJI was 2.5 billion. That's what you left. Yes. So it's so rich that you Mpacho Mamen come as way.
What's my name?
Right? Mamen Kasa, don't interject me, I beg you. 2.5 billion and a wo DJI. And a wo ubi e buy at the time, you know. In fact, the World Bank country rep
capacity
you need to be careful with that. So you left 2.5 billion. No, be a barbitria. Not only that, in fact, that 2.5 billion was projected to go as far as 16 billion per the World Bank country rep. He had to speak about it, say, yeah, and delay with, because agreements are the former administration, which at the time, John Mahama first administration, first term, the agreements that were signed with the IPPs were so bad, say, it was going to cripple us permanently. If we didn't, we had to renegotiate and pay a lot of those excess capacity.
Okay.
And so on. Yeah, what's the excess capacity? Yenko added to an excess capacity that was already killing Ghana, because we had to pay for those excess capacities because of bad agreements that you had signed. And then we work to reduce those agreements. Le Ghana ka amudi jaye. then you come in and say at that time the sign added to that excess capacity. Does it make sense? It doesn't make any sense. So the president was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was able to work with his energy ministry and be able to reduce what was projected to be 16 billion in debt that was left because of bad agreements. And by the time I will hand you over, that debt had actually reduced from 2.5 billion that was left by the previous administration to 2 billion. How do you say that this shows that you know how to run the economy? But you know how to. You know what? Chief, that's the energy. But no, Chief, I don't want to do too much of this dollar. Elections every they took the dollar at 1 point. Last time I checked here, 1.3. 1.3 cities. Oh, can I finish talking? You took it at 1.3. That's what you took. And at the time you left, it was around 4.5.
Okay.
And Amudijai.
3.8.
Oh, please. You'll be able to check in and we can Google and we can all check.
Let's check.
Sort here. And that's where you left. So, we were able to stabilize it through 2019. In fact, through 2021. Until what happened in 2022. We all saw that. When things, there was a global crisis, global inflation doubled. Okay, crisis Nana Addo Dankwa manage. What have you seen? A recovering economy with external reserves close to 9 billion. We can look at those things as well. Okay. Almost 9 billion in external reserves. So you had 31 tons of gold reserves. All these things, including free SHS and all these other programs that had been funded, and the lights were kept on for 8 years. And then you come in and you say, you who left an anemic gross domestic product, GDP, you know how to run the economy. Let me tell you. You just came and you have not faced any crisis yet.
We left an excess capacity, knowing the projection of population growth. Are you getting me? And capacity expansion.
Okay, all right.
Whoa, naka movie sunu naka omo project
Prince Efa from the NPP and Roger TD Walls from the NDC. Mama nkomono aye kamapa yada wase omoni adwuma. Na kase sha se otimi nua Kwame Osu Aduemi enka na mena production team no ase omabo adwuma pa executive producer Dr. Father Dixon. All right, we be sure wa hwe we are special what ko so ha UT lisanse ha and the pani nyina oson for me me David Ofori Safo Bongo Difara ya me admire sim. Where's anybody?